Good morning and welcome to Morning Java, brought to you as always by Get Go Cafe and Market, where right now people are doing their fish fries. Get Go's got really good fish sandwiches.
Yeah, and Chris, you can get them every day, not just on Fridays.
Oh man, that's what I'm talking about. I can do some fish, but let's talk about the fish that left Pittsburgh. Antonio Brown. The deal, there's an agreement in place. It's not official yet because the official new year has not started, so there can be no official trades made. But we now know the Raiders have the offer in for a third and a fifth round pick this year.
Yeah, and this was a long, drawn-out process, even though it only took a few days to come together. Starting with Thursday with the Bills offer, which was going to be a swap of first and second round picks with the Steelers. That was the offer that the Steelers wanted. Antonio Brown did not want to do that, and so that fell apart. And that really put the Steelers in a tough bargaining position because they had been, that Bills offer was their chip in hand.
But that's so out of just NFL character. A player tanked a trade. How does that even happen, Dale?
Well, I mean, he had the bargaining power because he could have refused to go there and just not played. And so that situation, if you're the Buffalo Bills, you're not going to give up the 9th overall pick in the draft for a guy who may or may not play for you. You're not going to trade for that headache. And so the Bills decided they didn't want to do that. And the Raiders, with the contract demands that were in place, a lot of other teams were scared away from this situation, and the Steelers ended up taking the offer from the Raiders.
Interesting move. So let's talk about the value, Dale. A third and a fifth. And we had talked for weeks about what the Steelers could expect. So we're saying a 2, so we're saying a late first, so we're saying a swap of firsts. What should the Steelers take out of this? A lot of people are saying Antonio Brown won, the Raiders won. No, the Steelers won because it was addition by subtraction. What's your readout on the win-loss ratio here?
We won't know who won and lost this trade for a couple of years. Antonio Brown could play out this season for the Raiders and do this all over again, or at least try to do this all over again next year. And then did the Raiders win? Right,
because if they're and again, if they go 6-10 next year, or even 4-12 again. What did it matter that you did all this? Because now the contract after this year, they're going to have that contract eating them alive. The Steelers are free of that, and who knows? I mean, back to the last time the Steelers moved up in the first round, they traded a first, a third, and a sixth, I think it was, to get the pick that got Polamalu, and that was from 27th to 15th, I want to say. Who's to say that now they can't use this ammunition? They have an extra third. They have an extra fifth.
They've got 10 picks.
They've got an extra 6. Right. They've got 10 picks. They have ammunition to still move up. And now teams like the Bills or like the Jaguars that might not want to draft an offensive lineman in the top 10, they might say, you know what? We didn't want to take that guy because we didn't know, but we know we can still get picks and get our own guys with these guys later in the draft.
Yeah, I don't see them moving up into the top 10, Chris, because that would probably involve giving away their second-round draft pick. But I could see with that extra third that they've gotten and the extra fifth that they've gotten, maybe sliding up 5 or 6 spots to get a guy like Devin Bush.
That could be the play. Okay, Dale. Top needs right now. Free agency's coming open. So we're talking free agents. Top needs. People are talking about inside linebacker, cornerback. Got to get a receiver. Maybe get a running back. Maybe get an edge rusher. There's a lot of names out there. There's also a lot of safeties on the board. Who are some guys that you're looking at that could be reasonable targets? Not let's just go get Earl Thomas and Justin Houston and C.J. Mosley. Yay! That's not going to happen this time.
It's not going to happen. And the Steelers will make some moves. They're going to sign a veteran receiver. They have to. I think John Brown is certainly a possibility if he doesn't price himself out of their market. We'll see what that is. He made $5 million last year in Baltimore. Maybe you give him a bump up from that on a couple-year deal. If you can't get him, Chris Conley from Kansas City is another guy that you want. You want an outside receiver.
Yeah.
Another slot receiver doesn't do you any good.
Everyone keeps saying Golden Tate.
Yeah, that just doesn't make any sense. No. He's an older version of Juju, except he doesn't play outside.
Exactly, and that's the thing is that the Steelers, they need a deep threat. They need a guy that's going to scare another team's top.
You need to be able to keep Juju in the slot if you so choose, and you can't do that right now, considering you have Ryan Switzer, James Washington, and Juju Smith-Schuster are the only receivers on your roster.
Wow. That's crazy, and that's even considering if they bring Eli Rogers back, he's still another
slot guy. Yeah.
And they have too many slot options. I think that's amazing thing. So we're talking about receivers. Is there a splash move that you think that they can actually make on the defensive side of the ball?
I mean, you could go out and possibly sign a cornerback. I think that would be the spot that I would look to fill. Maybe a Bradley Roby, maybe a Pierre Desir, someone like that, who's going to at least give you the opportunity. If you take a linebacker in the first round, and I really think that's their number one target. Either they get Devin White or Devin Bush. I don't think they give an opportunity to get Devin White, but they should have a shot at Devin Bush. Draft another cornerback in the second round. And maybe he's not a star, but maybe he's a future starter. But you don't need that future starter because you have a veteran there.
I like that idea. My last thing is going to be about the inside linebacker position. Is there a guy you think that they might add in free agency as a stopgap in case the Devin White situation doesn't work out? Maybe like a guy like Mark Barron from the Rams, he got let go. He's more of a cover style linebacker, so he's different from C.J. Mosley and Vince Williams and the Bucs styles. But they need a guy that can try to run with receivers and running backs over the middle of the field.
Yeah, I'm not a big Mark Barron fan. I think maybe I would, if I were going to spend the money on that, Deion Buchanan would make more sense if I'm going to sign that guy, because once those smaller inside linebackers get older and can't run, they have no value.
Exactly. Then there's Sean Spence.
Yeah.